Welcome back to the XandO Sports Show. I'm your host, Ricky G. Stanley. Today, my friends, we are at a milestone. Today is episode 30. Can you believe it's already 30 episodes? I remember episode 1, I was trying to figure out what I was going to talk about, what I was going to actually use as an OPS. I was trying to figure out Premiere Pro. Like I said, it's been a wild ride. And today is a milestone. I'd like to thank everybody for the love and support that I received, even some of the funny hate mail. But it wasn't a lot of that. It was more of a healthy conversation of difference of opinion. That's how I looked at it. I didn't really take too much of, some of the comments I received, but it was also good. And none of them was really like out of line. So this episode is for you guys. I want to thank everybody and continue to like, subscribe, and comment. Also, make sure you press the bell so people don't get the notification when the new episodes come out. And of course, I have an automated process that sends it to your messenger if I know you personally. Also, it sends it via text message. So, for the love of sports, let's keep it going. So now that I got that message out the way, this weekend I was going to Charlotte, North Carolina, and I was on the way and I get a message from one of my good buddies. Hey, the race is going to be on NBC. So I was like, cool. Stuck in traffic for like 7 to 12 minutes, according to my GPS. So I go on my phone while I'm sitting in traffic. I download the NBC app. So I was like, cool. Let's check out, see what's going on, because I didn't know which race was going to start. So the first race today, as soon as I turned it on, was the 200-meter men's. So I was like, cool. I see a couple familiar faces. Let's see what we got. So I plug it in, get the audio going, sitting there waiting, and I see a familiar face, Noah Lyles. So coming out of the turn, Noah Lyles showed everybody, hey, I still got it, and I'm the one that you have to chase. He got recorded at 19.52. The commentator, they both were yelling, he's back, and he is. I was pretty excited. Noah, good job. 19.52. Now it's like they stated that was the fastest time in the world, but it was his second fastest. So I'm just like, gee, so if that's his second fastest time, good Lord. So, I'm sorry, no, that was I think that was the fastest time this year in the world this year. I don't think it was all time. I have to go back and fact check that one. So, they stated, he was, he had a fast time, and he's trying to return back and getting that grind in to return to dominance. I have to call that guy back. He's actually going to be one of my episodes. But, so next up was the 100-meter race. I was like, cool. Let's see what we got. No other than the 3 Jamaican winners from Tokyo is in this race. And Sha'Carri Richards is in this race as well. So I'm like, cool. She couldn't compete in the Olympics. We don't have to really go into why she couldn't, but, she was suspended. So I was like, okay, she can't compete in the Olympics. And she was having a great year before that. So she's having a great year. She got clocked at a 10.72. I'm like, cool. She's healthy. She's running well. She looked like she's in very good shape. And, of course, the Olympics. So after the Olympics, this is her first chance of running since everybody saw her record that 10.72. Why not run up against some of the fastest women on the planet Earth, not just in America? So, like I said, she had the 3 women from Jamaica. Now, this is going to be tough. I personally did not know how this was going to end. But I felt like, hey, at worst, if they won the Olympics, she'll be in the pack to at least, be between second and third. If she get a jump out and run a perfect race and they don't run that perfect race, she could sneak and win it. So, make this short. It was a quick race. Boom. Come out of the blocks. Yeah, it was high competition that day. And I was looking at, where's her name? Elaine Thompson-Herah. She destroyed the majority of the competition. I mean, it's not even close. And she comes past the finish line. I mean, moving. I was like, good Lord, looks like a female Usain Bolt the way she was running. So I was like, okay, all right. So then I look at the rest of the stats. I'm looking like, all the Jamaican women ran 10.5, 10.6, and 10.7. And Miss Thompson Hera actually got clocked at a 10.54, which is the second fastest for women ever. She's right behind that FloJo record. She was reported running at 23 miles an hour at one time between the meters of 50 and 70. Whew, good Lord. Like, getting past 19 miles an hour, period, is moving. But get clocked at 23, we're talking about people in the NFL only getting clocked at 21 to 22 miles an hour. Like I said, she's going to be a problem as one of the Jamaican sprinters for a long time. If she stays healthy, yeah, she's going to win a lot of gold. However, after the race, instead of Miss Richardson going back to the locker room, getting some rest, and to be like, hey, I competed, let me get back to the lab and, do my thing. No, she, decided that she's going to do some commentary. She want to let everybody know, hey, I'm still here. I don't give, clean it up. She didn't care about, certain things. She want to let everybody know she's here. She's the sixth fastest in the world ever. Y'all can't take that from her. No, we can't take that from you. However, if people start beating your times, then you move down the list. That's this competition. However, the way that you perform give you no warrant to even come out and speak about anything. You lost. And it's not that you came in second or third, even fourth. If you came in fourth behind those fast Jamaican women, that's respectable. But you lost to two people that you already hit a faster time in this year that was from America. So that's embarrassing. But, however, I'm not a hater. I'm still rooting for you. But it's competition out here, and you can't be jaw-jacking and not competing. And she was like, I'm here to stay. Yes, you are for now. But if you keep running 11s, 11 1s, 11 2s, and 100, you won't be competing for long. We know that you can run a 10.7, and I even projected in one of my episodes that you could run 10.6. And I felt like FloJo record was next. But you're going to have to get in the lab instead of being on Instagram and talking to people. So, now that we got that out the way, like I said, I've been a fan of her since she was at LSU. Now, she's 5'1", and she's not really that tall, but she has a lot of afterburners. And surprisingly, a lot of her speed comes later on in the race. But those girls had already kicked it into high gear, and she couldn't keep up. But the fact that she came in 9th, and it was a bad 9th, and I'm just like, yeesh. Like, if she ran 10.7 and still came in 9th, and I'm like, good Lord, there's nothing she can do. But you're running in 11s, we know you're better than that. So, like I said, get your training up, keep going, cut out the foolery. I think you can do it, but let's let that commentary stay to the commentators. So, up next, football. Yes, if you guys were watching preseason game on a Saturday, Justin Fields got welcomed to the NFL. They blasted him and they knocked his chin strap almost loose. I'm like, good Lord. Right after he made the statement, the game was a little slower than I thought it was. It's not as fast as people make. Nah, I know they took that out of context, Justin, but they put that on the bulletin board. And the thing is, the fact that you're a mobile quarterback, they will not sit back and watch you throw the ball. They're going to let you run so they can start teeing off on you. You're going to have to, you got to call them protections a little better because he came off the edge screaming like a bet out of you-know-where. So, Justin, I watched the rest of the game as well as I watched some of the other teams out there. But, Justin, I think that if you keep your head in the game and on the swivel, I still have him beating out Andy Dalton by week 8. This is my personal opinion. If it's going bad, Matt Nagy will pull Andy Dalton early to make sure he tries to save his job. So, like I said, I think Justin Fields could still play. I just wanted to, poke a little fun at him. It's cool. I think you're still a good athlete. But you will have to call this protection a little better. If not, you can be eating through a straw. So, I watched Jacksonville. I had seen enough, and apparently the GMs and the head coach seen enough. So they went ahead and made their number 1 pick quarterback the starter already for week 1. Didn't take long. I feel like this week he really shouldn't have to play in this preseason unless they just want him to get some more reps. So, Trevor Lawrence, good job. Keep it up. Fortunately, I still have you guys going about 5-13. I think it was 18 weeks. So, yeah, I still don't have you guys win like 5 or 6 games, but we'll see. If you guys make it to the playoffs, hats off to you. But I think you guys got a long way to go, especially since you lost Travis Etienne, which is your first-round pick. So, hopefully he comes back from that foot tear, which was think it's Lens Frank or plantarflexion. It's between one of those two. I'm not a foot doctor, so unfortunately it was very hard to watch because, the guy was a hard worker. He came in to play, and unfortunately his season is over as of right now. So next, I have to say a lot of rookies are looking very promising. Very promising. The fact that one rookie laid it all down. He's been an impact, and I don't like him just because he's a Cowboy, not because he's not a good athlete. Michael Parsons has been doing very good. Like I said, he's been flying around, hitting everything moving. He kind of reminds me of the guy they call Preacher from Friday Night Lights. He's hitting everything moving. If the ref moves, he's hitting him too. So that kind of has me concerned because I thought they was just gonna put him on the outside and just let him rush the quarterback, drop back every now and then in coverage. But I seen them been moving him to the Sam and the Mike and the Sam backer. But the fact that he's been in rotation with Jalen Smith. So what does that leave for Jalen Smith? Because you still have two other linebackers and you have a rookie as well that's playing well. So the fact that Jalen Smith has that big contract and he has not been playing exceptionally well the last 2 seasons, and they gave him his contract money early. So Jalen Smith, what would they do with him? Probably trade him if I had to guess. If anything, Jalen Smith is not a bad athlete. I feel like the Cowboys did not put the pieces around him to have him sustaining success. He still had a lot of tackles, but a lot of times by the time he was making a tackle, they were 5 yards deep. That's half of a first down already. 2 of those, guess what? That's 10 yards. They're moving the chains. I don't think Jalen Smith is as bad as they think, but he does have some limitations. Keep him inside of his strengths and not his weaknesses. So I think we will be seeing Jalen Smith find another team, if not this year, possibly next year. He still have all the smarts. He's still talented to play, but he's not competed up to all the money they gave him. So, like I said, I hope they get it together. And maybe, he'll be a low-risk trade for someone. But I also want to give a special shout-out to Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy, he won the starting job for Denver. Unfortunately, he was released – he was traded from Carolina after 1 year. He beat the guys out that he had, and they still traded him for the Jets' ex-quarterback. I don't know what that was about. To me, that wasn't that smart. I feel like Teddy was better than Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's not a bad quarterback. He's still young, but I feel like Teddy gave you the best chance of winning. He was more of a high-end game manager. You have to call plays for Teddy to win. Same thing for Sam Darnold, but I guess because they were younger, I feel like it was stupid. But shout out to you, Teddy Bridgewater. He beat out, Drew Lock for the starting job. So I feel like that he gives them the best chance of winning. Drew Lock has a good arm, but I feel like he should have sat the first year. They threw him in the fire, and John Elway has not been good at selecting quarterbacks since he brought over Peyton. Peyton was already a veteran, so really no spicing that up. If I'm mistaken, I think he drafted Tebow. Yeah, Tebow was a winner, but Tebow's not a good quarterback. So, like I said, I knew in due time he was gonna beat Drew Lock out. Drew Lock has never been consistent. But speaking of time, this is mine. I'm your host, Ricky G. Stanley, and I am out of here.